challenges that continue to face our country. But there is also no doubt that we still have a long road ahead to travel. At this prayer breakfast last year, I reminded you of the need to be thankful and to pray for our nation, given how far we had come and the numerous challenges we had to contend with. A few weeks ago, as you all know, we went through another storm of floods, and we lost 200 people in Kenya. We have also had to relocate already 27,000 people from riparian reserves. We have spent close to 300 million shillings to make sure that these people who have been relocated have alternative places to stay. We still have another 13,000 that we are processing so that we can relocate them. And because we have been told that there will be above normal rains in Kenya for the next 7 years, we have to be careful so that we don't again put Kenyans in danger. That is why, as a government, we have said we will relocate Kenyans who live in fragile ecosystems along riparian reserves, because we cannot afford to lose any life anymore. Let me also say we are still contending with a burgeoning national debt and recovering our economy. It is true that all of us who have the privilege to be leaders in Kenya, majority of the people in this prayer breakfast, from MCAs to members of parliament, to governors, senators, ministers who are here, principal secretaries who are here, my deputy and myself, we are privileged to be leaders in Kenya at this time. And it is true that we understand, all of us, what the challenges are and what we need to do. I ask all of us to have the courage to do the right thing, however difficult it is. It is the only way we can pull our country and take our country into the future. We have, by the grace of God, now have reduced the price of food commodities. We are, however, yet to solve the problem of unemployment. We must continuously work together. I want to ask members of parliament who are here. We have set our target on the digital space to create jobs. I was in Ruto, in Simon Kingara's constituency, when we launched an ICT hub there that is hiring 5,000 Kenyans. I was very proud to see them at work. Every member of parliament seated here, and those who are not here, have an opportunity to replicate that in every constituency in Kenya. That is why we changed the law on CDF, so that you can have an opportunity to set up an ICT hub. And one of the big announcements that was made in my trip in America is an investment by Microsoft, an American company, G42, a UAE company, EcoCloud of Kenya, and the government of Kenya on the first ever data center that will use renewable energy. And it is an investment of $1 billion. And it is going to help us build the ecosystem to support the digital journey that we are engaged in as a nation. And you, as members of parliament, have an opportunity to be part of that momentum by setting up ICT hubs in every ward in the Republic of Kenya. I am very confident that working together in that manner and without minding whether this constituency belongs to a member of parliament who is in government or in the opposition, we are all one nation. Our target is to make sure that every child in Kenya has an opportunity, because we want to enhance the number of people who have incomes. We also managed to negotiate additional investments under the AGOA agreement. I got a confirmation from the American government that they are going to renew the Africa Growth and Opportunities Act, that today gives us close to 50,000 jobs here in Athi River, and now we have another 6 special economic zones set up in Kenya, and more American companies are going to set up camp in our nation because of the agreements we have put in place to create more jobs. We must continuously, deliberately, intentionally find opportunities for employment for the people of Kenya, the young people of Kenya. I also had occasion to meet many Kenyans in diaspora. In fact, it was a very interesting meeting in Atlanta. There was close to 1,500 Kenyans in one meeting. And it was amazing to see a meeting as big as this one in Atlanta of Kenyans. And it is because I also believe we have opportunity for creating more opportunities for employment for Kenyans in the diaspora. And that is why Bore here and Madime are engaged, and Rosalind Njogu are working on 19 bilateral labor agreements. We just completed one with Germany, so that we can create pathways for employment of the people of Kenya in different parts of the world, because we have one of the best human resource capital anywhere in the world. Therefore, despite all the challenges, I believe strongly that every generation is called upon to rise up and tackle the challenges of their time. We must rise up as the leaders of today to deal with the challenges that affect our nation. I believe that this is exactly why we were elected to office about 2 years ago, with hope, patriotism, love for country, and love for one another, working hard with determination and prayer. I believe that we are up to the task of confronting some of our most urgent challenges as we remember the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., who I had an opportunity to visit his mausoleum, who said that everything that is done in the world is done through hope. Our plan as a country is purposefully designed to provide sustainable solutions to some of our most pressing and present challenges. We have worked on food security. We are working on employment. We are building the profile of our country. Today, Kenya is respected. That is why we hosted the Africa Climate Summit last year. We hosted the International Development Associations with the World Bank to discuss concessional funding. Yesterday, we hosted the Africa Development Bank Summit. Next week, I will be addressing the G7. Last week, Kenya was given the privilege to be the African country to a state visit to the United States in 16 years. It speaks volumes of the favor of God upon our nation. And so, I have sometimes spoken to you as fellow citizens of Kenya that we may not agree on how to take Kenya forward, but we all agree that we have a common purpose and cause to take our country to the next level. All of us. And that is what matters, that we all agree that we must move Kenya to the next level. I said yesterday at the ADB conference, because many of you saw me pushing in the United States the agenda of Kenya, but half the time I spend pushing the agenda of the continent. And I said yesterday that there is no prosperous Kenya without all of us. Our destiny is intertwined. We must carry every village. We must carry every constituency. We must carry every county to make Kenya truly great. And that is why I speak to you leaders as the father figure of the nation, that we work together. We build bridges. We build synergy. We have a common destiny. There will be no success of one county as against another. We must pull together and succeed together as a nation. I want to repeat the words in Kiswahili of Matthew 5:9. Neno la Mungu linasema, heri wapatanishi, those who unite people, those who bring people together, those who make peace, those qualify to be the children of God. We must do that together, all of us. Of course, our democratic culture is a powerful source of resilience and dynamism, and an anchor of unity and strength. Regardless of our intense, or even how intense our political contests get, and despite the heat of our debate, we must never forget what a great country God has given to us, and the opportunity we have together to build a strong, secure, peaceful, united, and prosperous nation. It must always inform what we do. We are called upon to be optimistic about our country because we have every reason to be. We see hope in the beauty of our land, in the richness of our diversity, and the diversity of our culture, and the immense potential of the Kenyan people. We hear hopes of stories of ordinary Kenyans who have done extraordinary things and overcome extraordinary challenges, who have risen above adversity and went on to make positive impact in their communities, in their localities, and in our nation. We build hope by working together towards common goals of prosperity for all of us, by supporting one another and by contributing to the common good. We strengthen hope by promoting peace, justice, and reconciliation. And we perfect hope by investing in education, healthcare, and infrastructure. We can nurture hope by protecting our environment, alleviating the effects of climate change, and preserving our rich national resources. In conclusion, let us embrace one another as a nation united by hope, laboring collectively in hope, and working together towards hope. Let us build a Kenya of opportunity for everyone, a land of prosperity where everyone can live and thrive in dignity, and where our hopes and dreams meet fulfillment through work and faith. You all know what our national anthem says. And because we are going through a budget process, and because we have stabilized our economy, we're going to now focus on how to create jobs, making sure that the road network that has been beaten by the floods, many roads that had stalled, that we're going to put more resources in making sure that we repair and we rebuild and we complete the roads that are awaiting. I was very surprised and pleasantly surprised, let me put it, when I called heads of parastatals, chairmen and CEOs, and I explained to them the situation where we are. And I told them, look, each and every one of you need to go back and reduce your budgets, especially the budgets of recurrent expenditure, by 30%. I was pleasantly surprised that each and every parastatal was willing to contribute to making sure that we live within our means. And each one of them went back and they have submitted their reports, and they have actually reduced their recurrent budgets by 30%. And that is even the reason why even my office and that of my deputy and that of my prime cabinet secretary, we have said we are going to start with ourselves. We must lead from the front, tighten up our belts, invest in the places that will make sure that we create broader prosperity. Invest in making sure our dairy is working, our flowers are working, our coffee and tea are working. The places that create opportunity for the majority of Kenyans are working. And I promise you that as a steward that I have the privilege to be, we will act responsibly and we will manage the affairs of the country with integrity and with selflessness so that we can build a nation of hope, that people know that their government cares. Let me say this, or let me disclose. You know, when I saw the debate in Kenya as to how I traveled to the US, you know, and there was, you know, all manner of figures, you know, this plane is this big and it is like this, Google here, Google there. This one must have costed 200 million because the president needed to arrive in style in the US, holding Rachel's hand. You know, I am a very responsible steward. Believe you me. There is no way I can spend 200 million. There is no way. In fact, let me disclose here that it costed the Republic of Kenya less than 10 million. Because, let me tell you, I am not a madman. When I was told the cheapest plane was 70 million, I told my office, go book Kenya Airways. Yeah. So when some friends of mine heard that I was going to travel Kenya Airways, and we have built a big reputation as a country. We have built friends. Some friends told me, how much do you want to pay? I said, I'm not ready to pay more than 20 million. They said, bring 10 million, we will give you the plane. Look at me, Kenyans. Look at me again. I must lead from the front. As I tell others to tighten up their belt, mine must be where to begin. So relax, you know, and the debate must end because I am that responsible. And it is going to be that way. We're going to make sure that we tighten up our belts, we live within our means. In fact, my plan is that in 3 years, we must have a balanced budget. We cannot continue to have a budget that has a deficit, that before you begin, you have to borrow. I have told every person, including the leadership of Treasury, Professor Ndungu, Kipto, and all the others, that that's where we are going. And I'm very proud of the support I get from my economic team, led by Professor Ndi and all the other people there. They're doing a good job. Now, in conclusion, I said, in our national anthem, we pray that we shall flourish in a land of plenty. That is the Kenya we all want, and that is the Kenya we all aspire for. I want to thank you very much for coming for this prayer breakfast. You are the best country that I know. And if I had another chance to be born, I would want to be born Kenyan. God bless you all. God bless our great country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I don't think those round of applauses are not sufficient and adequate. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I think you may be seated. I'd like to call upon now the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Right Honorable Senator Moses Wetangula.